S&B Monthly is a show about two sisters-in-law who share their love of books. Sometimes they read together, sometimes not. Sometimes horror, but mostly smut. They also spend a lot of time on book talk, fangirling over hockey players, and farming in Stardew Valley. Every month, they review and recommend the books they've read, and chat about other fun topics too. Don't worry, they won't spoil anything. But be warned, the show is not for kids, or for anyone who may be offended by horror or sex talk, or both. Looking at you, Mom. Hello, and welcome back to S&B Monthly, the best worst book club. I'm your co-host, Bekk.
And I'm Stephanie.
So we do have our winners, but should we make them wait?
I think we should make them wait till halftime.
All right, so we do have an announcement break halfway through, so I guess you're just going to have to deal with us for another, 20 minutes before we announce the winners. With that being said, Steph, I didn't really read a whole lot in the last 2 months. I read enough to fill like one episode. So how about you start us off?
All right, I will start with Credence. I read Credence by Penelope Douglas. A dark romance, 487 pages. Content warning is misogyny, incest, rape, sexual assault, domestic abuse and violence, child neglect, and recounted. So not,
It's off page.
Yes.
Okay.
And suicide. So the synopsis is Tiernan de Haas doesn't care about anything anymore. The only child of a film producer and his starlet wife, she's grown up with wealth and privilege, but not love or guidance. Shipped off to boarding schools from an early age, it was impossible to escape the loneliness and carve out a life of her own. The shadow of her parents' fame followed her everywhere. And when they suddenly pass away, she knows she should be devastated. But has anything really changed? She's always been alone, hasn't she? Jake Vanderberg, her father's stepbrother and her only living relative, not by blood, that matters, assumes guardianship of Tiernan, who is still 2 months shy of 18. Sent to live with him and his two sons, Noah and Caleb, in the mountains of Colorado, Tiernan soon learns that these men now have a say in what she chooses to care and not care about anymore. As the three of them take her under their wing, teach her to work and survive in the remote woods far away from the rest of the world, she slowly finds her place among them and as a part of them. She also realizes that lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one else is watching. One of them has her, the other one wants her, but he's going to keep her. So
that was a lot.
It was a very long,
very German names too.
Yeah, they are. They really are. I didn't really realize that till now.
What did you like about it?
So this story gets there's a lot of mixed reviews because the content. The backstory of all the characters is very tragic, which I guess I don't like to say I like that, but it does kind of help the story along as far as why they are the way they are, but it really doesn't excuse the behavior, especially of the uncle. And it is not by blood. It's like marriage. That's why. So it's not her uncle by blood, but he's still way older and she is 17 for half of the book, so that's pretty ick. I liked the way they described the area in Colorado, the remote cabin, the way, everything was described in really great detail to where, like, I want to go there. I want to visit. Like, it sounds absolutely stunning. So they did really good with that, or she did really good with that. Even there's like a town that's it's a little drive because they're in a very remote area, but the closest town, the way they explain it, it kind of actually reminds me of, what's the town in the Black Hills that I know there's that little town where we got the candy.
Keystone?
Keystone. It kind of reminded me of that. They talk about a little candy shop and it's sort of significant to the story. And when they were describing it, I thought of that little town, like that kind of was what went through my head, like a cute little town in the woods, you know. So anyways, I liked how everything was described. I like the idea of like getting snowed in with these three guys who are like pretty much competing. Like, it sounds fun.
You like that idea, huh?
I mean, it sounds really bad. I like the idea of reading about it.
Yeah.
But it's family, and I know they're not blood, but it's still kind of weird. And the fact that she's 17, and like, so I'll get into my dislikes because it kind of ties into it. So
Yeah.
she's 17, so I didn't really like that. There is a reason why she is 17. Like, it helps make the story make sense as to why she went to stay with them rather than just be on her own, kind of thing.
Yeah, like who goes and stays with her uncle at like 25?
Yeah, so it all makes it. It's like it almost needed to be done to kind of make the story come together, but it's still really weird. She has a lot of trauma and a lot of she wasn't connected with her. There was no love with her parents, so I feel like she was manipulated a lot. You know, and I mean, I don't know. I just relate it, especially by the uncle who's like way older. Like, I wish it kind of was just the sons, and then it would be a little more easy to digest, I guess, because they're older too, but they're not in their 30s. You know,
the three dudes is the uncle and the two sons.
Yes.
Oh,
it's the uncle's kid, so her cousins, but not by blood.
But it's the uncle's kids.
Yes.
Ugh.
Oh, yes, and they all be sharing, kind of. I mean, they don't want to, but it happens.
Yeah.
And these sexual experience she was getting at 17.
17.
I mean, you're reading it and you're like, I mean, if she was a little older, but then if she was older,
this story wouldn't make sense.
There may be another way to like make it work, but
yeah,
this is how she did it. And I read a lot of Penelope Douglas's stuff, and she does like to push the envelope. This seemed almost like a shock romance. It was just the age and the relations were a bit much for me. It's definitely not for everyone. If a lot of people hate on it because of that, they're like, I found it disgusting and I couldn't finish it. I did finish it. I really liked the backstory of the sons. You kind of learn a lot about them and what they've kind of been through, especially because their mother, his ex-wife, isn't in the picture, so you learn all about that. But still, it's weird. I think I would like the book better if the uncle wasn't sexually involved with the girl. I think I could like stomach it.
Yeah, it would have made more sense if it was just the two brothers.
And there was really no need for. There was a reason for the boys. Like, there was a learning behind that. You know, like, you get it why. But with him, it was just kind of like, he's a hot older man, and she shouldn't. You know, that's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars because
you finished it.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. It wasn't terrible. It was just.
Oh, she writes well, right? It just
she does.
Yeah,
she does. I've read other books by her. I think the entire Devil's Night series, if I'm not mistaken, is her. And I liked all those. They were really good. This one just wasn't it for me. It's
spices. Just a miss.
Yeah, a very four spice, and there is 3 eye rolls because, yeah, she's something. So I don't know, but would I recommend? No, because she has way better books. There's better books out there. This is not something I would recommend. Absolutely not. It's not that great.
There's other stories you would recommend over this one. Yeah.
Penelope Douglas. If you want to read some dark romance by Penelope Douglas, because you've heard about her as an author, and she is good. She can write. I just didn't like the storyline. The Devil's Night series is very good. It's 6 books. 2 of them are novellas. 4 of them are thick, and I got through them quick because they just keep you interested. It's like you want to know what happens.
You have to finish this. Yeah.
Got to. And they were good. They were good for dark romance and everything. I really liked them. They were good books. So
all right,
that's all for that one. So what's the first one you're going to talk about?
So I was reading this book the last time we spoke. Well, not the last time we spoke. Last S&B. Yeah. This was recommended to me by my sister Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for this. It's called Puck Me Secretly. It is by Oddette Stone. It is a sports romance, obviously. It is 409 pages, and the content warnings on this one is sexual abuse, violence, PTSD, and suicide. The synopsis is it is a story that follows Rory and Max. Rory is on her way back to Vancouver to accept a temporary position with her father, the GM of the Vancouver Wolves. Side note, every time I read this, I wanted to say Canucks because
I know, it's weird reading it even.
It's so weird. And like,
I wish they used a different like city name. That way, it doesn't
something.
Yeah.
And also they're talking about how good of a team they are. I'm like,
yeah. Are they not allowed to use like actual?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you have to be like NHL, whatever. And we all know the drama with that.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen now.
No, probably not.
No.
Her seatmate on her plane back to Vancouver is Max, a hunky dude that tends to keep to himself. As the plane crashes, she confesses some pretty embarrassing stuff about herself, and they end up staying together through the night. Come morning, he's gone and she knows nothing about her. Or about him. Oops. When Rory starts her new job on the first day, she's shocked to find out who number 33 really is. Also, side note, so close to 34. But
yep, really close.
Really close. It was a really fun read. It had some emotional parts to it. It had witty dialogue between the male main character and the female main character. I felt like the writing style was very smooth and easy to read. I kept up with it. Like I did finish this in like 2 days because I just kept reading it.
Yeah.
The ending, this is what I disliked, was a little soap opera for me. Like, it kind of ended up being like this, I don't know, Days of Our Lives situation. But, I mean, it was still fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, rating 3 stars. It was good, not great. But that's not to say that it wasn't a good recommendation. It's just that romance novels aren't going to this is going to sound really bad and like pretentious. I don't ever want to be pretentious or like, you know, stuffy, but for it to be like a really good book, I don't think romance is going to be like part of it or as much of like a shining moment as romance novels are. So it was a good recommendation. I read it, I enjoyed it. 3 stars. 3 spice. It wasn't quite as like it wasn't every other scene. So and like 3 eye rolls. She was wearing like pink Converse. She would wear pink fuzzy sweaters, that kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like it would talk about like how hot she was. Like I understand that it's like a romance novel and whatnot, but when you have to explain how hot a character is multiple times and like how she fits into skinny jeans and like I wear high heels.
Body.
Yeah, like
we know.
I understand that a hockey player is probably not going to go for a different like body type than that, but I don't need every like description of you to be how hot you are.
Yeah, especially like we know. You told us.
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I absolutely would recommend this if you like sports romance, the enemies to lovers trope, secret relationships. Give this book a try. I enjoyed it. I had fun reading it.
Nice. I haven't read any hockey romance yet, so I'm telling you, you're gonna have to read them all, and then you're gonna have to tell me which one I should read.
Okay.
That's fine.
I can do that.
Cool.
Which ones have I read so far? It's this one, Puck Me Secretly.
They all have like funny names.
I know.
That one didn't. That one kind of was a normal name, I think. I can't remember.
Let me go to my Goodreads real quick.
Yeah, because you read like
Until I Get You was a
That's the one that's not like. But didn't you read another one with like a funny funny name?
Pucking around.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Because puck sounds like fuck.
It does.
And it's funny.
I mean,
I also want to mention that I read this before the hockey drama happened on TikTok.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that got out of hand.
It sure did. So I don't want to add to it, but Also, I mean, I've loved hockey for going on 11 years now. So like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I grew up with my dad and my brothers playing. I've always been a fan. So,
mhm.
I mean,
I'm gonna stick
whatever.
around. You
It
know.
was nice seeing all the content, though.
Oh yeah, the targeted content too.
Mm-hmm. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want people to get
Yeah.
mad at us. But...
No. Yeah. Please don't.
Yeah, it was nice though.
It was nice.
I mean, I like seeing, it's nice to like see your favorite players warm up and stretch.
Oh yeah, especially the fun goalie dance.
I mean, that's one of my favorite ones to watch.
I know you like goalies.
I do. It's terrible. It's my weak spot. They take off their helmet, and I'm like, no,
put it back up. Oh, it's the mask.
Oh my
That's
God.
what it is.
Oh, did we? It makes so much sense.
I just psychologically.
I've always had like an obsession with goalies since I was young. I had an obsession with Patrick Waugh. Oh my God, is that what it is?
I think we just cracked the code.
Oh. Okay, well.
All right. The more we know about ourselves, apparently.
Could have been something much worse. I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
You haven't read
so much sense.
your Bad KU yet. So I'm waiting for that. Oh, I should mention that this one is Puckney Secretly is on Kindle Unlimited. Is Credence?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I read it. I glad I didn't buy that one. Not that I hated it, but it's like I'm not even gonna open that again. Not that it's bad. You know what I mean though? It's just like
no,
okay.
it's just yeah.
All right.
Meh.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving right along. Yeah.
So you've never read a hockey romance, but you are starting to read fantasy romance?
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay.
So it's Crowns of Nyaxia series, and the main books are 1 and 2. So Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I read those both along with a novella, Six Scorched Roses, and that one's only 187 pages. It is fantasy romance, and the content warnings are battle scenes, loss of life, violence, and sexual content. Before I get into the synopsis, I just want to say I'm not going to be getting into the other books as much as the first one because I don't want to give away details based on like the characters you'll hear about in the other books. And I also I don't want to give anything away because the first one is a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
And also just time constraints because I could do a whole show alone on this series. It's pretty insane.
And then this happens and then that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I get really excited. I really like the series a lot. Serpent and the Wings of Night is about the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king Oriah carved her place in the world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something other than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Oriah is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Oriah most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari. I'm probably saying that wrong, by the way, but no, that's how I said it. War of the House of Night brews, shattering everything that Oriah thought she knew about her home, and Rain may understand her more than anyone. But their blossoming attraction could be her downfall in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. So, oh God, the first book was so good. It really got me into this series. The world building is really, really good. And there's a lot of action. There wasn't a whole lot of spice in this one. I didn't care though because I was so into it. I just, I mean, it's nice, but like
a bonus.
It is a bonus because the plot is so good. I was a little worried about there being like a part 2, if you will, because I'm like, is it gonna get dumb? Or because you know how like that'll happen. It starts off really good, and then you're like, oh, why? No, I want to read more by her because I just loved everything. I liked everything. The FMC and the MMC are both amazing. No eye rolls. I love them both.
Wow.
Everyone in the book was impressive, and like nobody I hated who I needed to hate. I loved who I needed to love. You know what I mean? There was none of that weird, like no, not at all. It was everything about her, good and bad. You know, she's not perfect. Everything about her, good and bad, it makes sense to her story. There's lots of twists and turns in it. So I'm a beginner to fantasy. So this is a story with a lot of plot, and I like that I was never completely lost. And then to my dislikes, a lot happens, and there's lots of twists and turns. And sometimes I would have to like read a page or two, like, wait, what? Not that it was bad. It's just I am not used to fantasy, and there's a lot happens, and like it's definitely a book that like you can't skip. Like you can't skim this book. You can't like skip pages. There's none of that because you can miss something. So
well, and it seems like there's like a lot of different names, so you kind of have to keep track of too.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different houses, which kind of makes it but it's like, you know, when you like if you watched a Game of Thrones, at first it was very confusing. I'm like, God, there's so much.
Who's this person? Yeah.
But then the more you watch it, the more it just all falls into place and makes sense, and then you know who's who. It's kind of the same. Not as I think this is a little easier though to follow than that. Because I couldn't even read that. That's too much. But I tried. Respect, but I'll watch it. That's too much. Especially being a beginner, like nah. But I would have to reread a page here and there. Not really in a bad way. It is a book or a series, I would say. If you want to start it, like you do need to be fully invested. Like you can't, you know, some books you can kind of skip around. I'm not feeling this. I can just skip a page. No, you don't want to do that because you can miss really important stuff. So the main books are Serpent and the Wing of Night. I'm going to try to make this make sense. And The Ashes of a Star-Cursed King. Those are the main two books. Those one's in a cliffhanger and the other one picks up, you know, the second one picks up where the first one leaves off. So those are the two main ones. Six Scorched Roses is recommended to be read between those two, but it doesn't have to be.
So it's like 1.5?
Yeah, but it's not, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
But I read it because the author recommends you reading it. And those characters that you kind of find out another story, and those characters are in the third one, but you don't need to know their backstory for the other one to make sense. But I just wanted to personally read it. I wanted to know. So I read it in the order she recommends if you want to read the novellas as well. I know that's a lot. It's not that bad. Yeah,
but if it's it's a story that is unique and makes sense and is interesting, why not have more content? You know,
absolutely, yeah. And I loved the series so much. I only gave it 4 stars just because I'm stingy. No, I didn't get like a life-changing moment, which is so stupid. But you know what I mean? Something really like
has to click.
Yeah, something big. And like this was great. I want to read all her books now. Like she's amazing. All 3 books were amazing. Like just so good. I never got bored. And I'm like, well, I'll probably love all her other stuff too. Apparently there's another book that kind of is the same way where it's in the same world or whatever. Like you'll hear about people you read. I don't know. I haven't gotten into that yet, but I will because I like her. So anyways, 4 stars, 2 spice. There's more spice in the second one, I will say. And then no eye rolls, none for me. I kind of want you to read it because I want to know what you think. But so as far as recommending it goes, if you like, so it's a slow burn, enemies to lovers, romantasy. If you're into that, absolutely 100% recommend. It was wonderful. It was fun. I miss it. Kind of having a hard time moving on. But
you have a book hangover?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the book I read after that one was really good. Now I'm starting to struggle, but we'll get into that. Yeah. So yeah, it was really good. I want people to read this. It was excellent. And it's on Kindle Unlimited. So that's a plus. Yeah.
Our first 3 books are Kindle Unlimited.
I think
you know what? I do actually think all of our books this month are Kindle Unlimited.
They are because there's so many free ones that I haven't read yet.
No, my second book is not, I don't think. But that's fine. Oh, 1 out of 7 is fine.
Yeah, I think that think that's all right.
I also think that now that you have a Kindle, a lot more of your choices are probably going to be Kindle Unlimited. I know there for a while, all of the books that I was reading was Kindle Unlimited. Just because you have this option now, you have this unlimited. Well, it's not unlimited. They shouldn't call it unlimited because it really isn't. But no, I'm just kidding.
It's a lot, though.
It is a lot, and when you partake in the program or whatever, you want to like read as much as you possibly can. You know, that's how I was.
What's nice is you can like try things outside your norm. Like fantasy is new to me, and do I see myself going and buying a I should past tense because I do now, but did I see myself like ever going to the store and like picking up a fantasy book and buying it and looking at the cover, because the covers are always or not always, but a lot of them are kind of and I know, but I would look at it and be like, oh, this is gonna be dumb. And now I'm opening myself up to more, which I'm so happy I've done, because I'm like, well, if I don't like it, I just won't finish it, whatever.
Right.
And now I'm like in love with a new genre. I'm freaking 40 years old and found a brand new genre that I just love. And I should have listened to you because you told me a long time ago. But,
I did, but I think fantasy definitely does have that like dark stigma around it that like, I don't know, freaks and geeks read it. Yeah. So
or
that it can't be anything that's like, I don't know, dark or haunted kind of thing.
Yeah, like because I like that stuff.
Yeah,
that kind of dark stuff. So, I mean, it's vampires, and I'm like, oh god, a vampire! Like, it's probably gonna be like
police. No, I'm just kidding.
Twilight. Or something.
Interview with a vampire. No, actually, that one's kind of sick, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But like Twilight or something, you know?
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, I've never read the books. I heard the Twilight books are like. Amazing.
You've never read the Twilight books?
No.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess
know. I didn't read a whole lot.
Well, you were
like I read
also
in my 20s,
adult when they came out, weren't you?
Yeah. I was grown. Mm-hmm.
I think. When I
saw the first movie. Oh, I think I've seen bits and pieces of all of them. But
Jeff has watched more of the movies than I have. He has watched every single movie. I walked out halfway through the first movie.
Oh, you haven't watched the whole first one?
No.
There's so many good memes.
I read all of the books.
You were mad, huh?
I was mad. I was one of those that was mad. I went with my best friend Ashley because we both read it, and then the soundtrack came out. Baller soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah, the soundtrack's
so
amazing.
Good. And we're so hyped. We're like, oh my god, we're gonna go watch it. It's gonna be so sick. And then it's just
killer, Bella.
Yeah,
sparkle glitters. Which I heard the way that his skin described. My friend was really pissed off about the movie. And she was like, the way they describe it in the book
is nothing
fucking
like
amazing. And then you watch this movie and you're like, what the fuck? They ruined it. It's so funny.
What's wrong with his nipples?
She was trying to like convince me to read the books, and I'm like, no, I won't. And she's like, they're good. And I'm like, So yeah. Then I think now I'm like, just maybe my kids, I'll have my daughter read them or something.
Give her a couple years.
Couple years.
Yeah.
I don't read some crazy stuff right now. I'm like, oh.
Well, I don't want her to think that which I mean, she's your daughter, so I don't think she will ever get this like thought process, but I don't want her to have the mentality of Bella, like that this dude is going to be the end all be all. But I don't think she has that anyway.
I don't think she's I think mature enough. Like Adrian's the one I'd have to make wait a while.
Yeah.
Alexis, I don't worry about. Like she reads pretty. I mean, she reads a lot of YA stuff, and some of it's some heavy stuff she's read. I like kind of go through it and make sure it's not nothing too, too crazy, obviously. But yeah, she's really starting to like a lot of novels now. So, but she's pretty mature.
We're friends on Goodreads.
I know. She was so excited. Can I add Aunt Becky? I go, yes, add it.
Yeah. Just don't look at all the books she's read.
Yeah, just ignore those. She wants to read The Troop, so I have to go through it and I'm like, let me.
Oh, do you want it back?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I need to I'm gonna go through it because I can I don't know. Can you
I think it's on
Kindle? Like trying to.
Yeah, you can find.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna kind
how-
of look through it. I don't think there's anything. There's some gore, obviously, but I just don't. I don't think there's anything. I'm pretty sure
sexual.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I gave it 0 spice. I
I'm
don't think
pretty
there's
sure.
anything.
I would have to
It's
go back.
kids.
Yeah.
But I'm like, did they like have a recollection of something? But I'm like, no. But I'm like paranoid because it's my daughter. Anyways,
Yeah, I get it.
I'm blabbering. So,
oh yeah, we're doing a podcast.
yeah.
Oops.
I'm just bullshitting on the phone.
Yikes.
Oh, we have a little. It's halftime.
It's halftime. Announcement of break time.
Woohoo.
All right. So, extended break out of the way. We're really, sorry about that. We did want to continue the giveaway because we started it. We might as well finish it. Our winners are for Facebook, it was Lauren.
Yay.
For Instagram, it was Christian. And for TikTok, it was Rachel. No, I was just,
Yay.
I was giving it time. All right. I felt like I was, what is her name? Dora the Explorer for a second. Like, okay. Those people have been contacted or will be contacted via the platforms just to get your mailing address and t-shirt size. And I will try to get them out as soon as I possibly can. Cricket has a little bit of an update issue, and I will be disposed for a week on vacation. So I will get them out as soon as I am able.
Our website has been updated and shows all of the books we have mentioned and all of our book club books so far. So if you ever are listening, want to go back, or maybe before you listen, you're like, well, let's see what they read first. You can go ahead and go to our website and you can see everything we've done. Look into all our episodes from the beginning to now.
Yeah.
Yep. So
should we just go over the book club book from last time and then I'll go into my book?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. So we read Still Beating by Jennifer Hartmann. That was our July book club book. It ended up being July-August, but we'll set that aside for now. It did take me the full 2 months to read. It is a dark romance. It is 314 pages. The content warnings, buckle up, is sexual abuse, violence, PTSD, suicide, rape, misogyny, sexism, bullying, medical content, gun violence, panic attack and disorders, domestic abuse, drug abuse, emotional abuse, infidelity, and addiction. The synopsis is: when Cora attends her sister's birthday party, she expects at most a hangover or a walk of shame. She doesn't anticipate a stolen wallet, leaving her stranded and dependent on Dean, her arch nemesis and ultimate thorn in her side. And she doesn't really anticipate waking up in shackles in a madman's basement. To make matters worse, Dean shares the space with his own set of chains. After 15 years of teasing, insults, and practical jokes, the ultimate joke seems to be on them. The two people who always thought they'd end up killing each other must now work together if they want to survive. But Cora and Dean have no idea their abductor hasn't planned for them, a plan that will alter the course of their relationship, blur the lines between hate and love, and shackle them together with more than just a few chains. All right.
So what did you like?
The dog. I don't know, man. And you know what? That should also be a content warning. Animal death.
Yeah.
Because even that.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What did you like about it?
Okay, so I like the idea of it. I'm always the one to say that with things. I remember reading, being like, oh, this could be interesting, and I knew it was going to be kind of a lot heavy subject matter and everything. But I find typically I hate to say I like that kind of stuff, but I'm intrigued by it. Morbid curiosity, whatever. I like to read the darker things, and I'm like, wow, I wonder if this is like, it just seemed interesting. And I had put it on my, TBR, like this is something I want to read. Um,
I think it was on both of our TBRs, and that's why we chose it.
yeah, but
I think TikTok was the one that
it was. Yeah, it had the vote. Because we had it between a couple of books, and that was the one. I can't say much what I liked about it.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I literally.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, I literally disliked everything else, like the pick me attitude, the pick me name, Cora. What was her full name?
Corabelle. Which is an awesome name. What's wrong with that?
It's a pick me name.
Don't call me that. But
Don't
she didn't like being called that. It's Cora.
And that's why he called her that, is because she didn't like it.
It's so bad. And okay, we'll get into it. So what didn't you like? Since we're already kind of getting into it.
The emotional infidelity, like he strung the sister along for so long. And then they tried to make her the bad guy
because she was girly. Who gives a fuck?
Well, that and like she was getting in the way of their love, but like excuse me, 10 years.
They were engaged.
They're engaged. They thought they were getting married that like next weekend. Ugh. And then so the constant back and forth with like the male main character and the female main character, like they were both like, oh, we shouldn't. Oh, but we have to, but we shouldn't. But I have these feelings, but we shouldn't. It's like, dude,
it was
one way or the other.
Forced.
So forced.
Like, I can tell the characters are just made up. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I couldn't get lost in this book. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, I'm just going to get into it.
Yeah.
What I didn't like. Oh, sorry. I'm just like, here I go. So, I hated, so when I started reading it and everything kind of starts happening, I didn't want to, I hated hating her because I'm like, God damn, like the shit she goes through.
Yeah.
And the trauma. And it's like, I don't want to be like this, but fuck, because they're going through like if you do read it, you probably don't, but if you do, if
the morbid curiosity,
yes, if it has been piqued and you're like, well, I gotta see, ugh. So it
just don't.
They're going through literal hell. Okay, it's a lot. It's bad. It's bad. Their situation.
I will say that's like only like a fourth of the book too. Like I expected it to be the entire book, but it's only like a quarter of it. Yeah. And it's still trash. It's horrible.
And they're going through really terrible things. And it's hard to read.
Descriptive. Yeah.
Very descriptive, hard to read.
I hated it.
They're in this fucking situation with this man who has them kidnapped and this and that and this and that. Just crazy shit. And she's like being petty with him.
Yeah.
He's saving you.
He gives her his shoes.
He's singing to your ass every night so you can freaking sleep. And you're just, ew. I still hate you.
That one time in high school when you did that thing, like, no, dude.
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
Why are you worried about that? He was so mean to me.
He's made my life a living hell. No.
You know
you're
what's
in hell
mean
right now.
Is this guy who kidnapped you, and look what you're going through now. And why the fuck do you care about this petty shit? He's saving you. He's helping. And he was like too patient with her. I'd have been like, fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have been so petty.
He saved her, was patient with her,
said he was
helping
sorry
her any way he could.
Yeah.
And she was still like, no. Oh God. It just drove me nuts. I was annoyed the whole time. I couldn't. I'm not getting lost in this book. I'm bored. I know who it is. I'm like, they're badly written. No hate to the author.
No.
She might have other good books out there.
But this wasn't
a bad one to start with. Okay, because I probably won't read it anymore.
Exactly.
It's not good. It was not good.
This has like turned me off of all, what is her name? Jennifer Hartmann books. Because I can't.
Because I don't like her. If I can't sympathize with a girl going through this, you need to write characters different, sweetie. Like, I'm not trying to be a bitch.
There's pick-me's and there's pick-me's. And
yes,
she's the ultimate, like, my sister's so girly, and I don't know how she's the way that she is, and I just want to read and play with my dogs. Like, come on. So does she probably.
I know. Leave her
Who doesn't
alone.
love dogs?
You're the worst sister. Look what you did.
Look at this.
This mess. And you suck.
Oh my god. Yeah, the only reason I finished this book is because it was the book club book.
Right.
And like I don't want to like don't you guys ever book books ever again? No, like this is the point of a book club book is like sometimes we're going to have an L, you know? Like not every book is going to be a winner.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what's your rating? What are you giving it?
With our new go back to our thirsty to get our new rating system because we were kind of in the muck with our ratings before. But
yeah,
with our bedazzled rating system, I gave it 1 star for spice because it happened so often. And 5 eye rolls. The chucks, the books, the pick me, the way they treated the sister, the whole thing.
Yeah, I gave it I put 2, but I gave it 1.5.
Oh, okay.
I guess because I finished it. I'm like, I'll give it a little bit. I finished it solely because I kind of cared about the sister. I wanted to know. I'm like, what was gonna happen to her? That ain't fair.
Yeah.
I was kind of, and she's such a small
over.
part. I know.
I'm heated.
I felt bad for her. I do
really
too. Bad.
Like she was still being a good sister too.
She's better than she's a good person. I don't even remember what's the main character's name. Cora. So her name's Cora. What's her sister's name? I can't remember. Cora's it doesn't matter because Cora's a bitch.
Yep.
That's what I remember. I don't like her. No, it's horrible.
Trash.
So 4 spice, 5 eye roll, blah, trash. Do you recommend it?
Nope.
No.
TikTok steered us wrong on this one.
Yeah, it got a lot of hype. I was like, well, it can't be that bad. And it was.
It sure was.
Yeah.
God.
All right, can you talk about something better? Do you have a book that can like turn this show around? Because I am hot. Give me something good.
Yeah. So
okay.
I actually because I beat my Kindle Unlimited. So you know how they have like challenges every 3 months? I beat the last one, so I was like, you know what? I can chill out. You know, I don't need to read every single day. It's fine. So I actually read a physical book because I bought it 5 months ago. So this one is For the Throne. It is by Hannah Whitten. This, by the way, this is the second book out of the, what is it called? The Wildwood series. I read For the Wolf. I want to say our first episode. So if you want to go back and listen to my review of that one, go back to the first episode. This is the second book, so there are going to be minor spoilers, unfortunately, because I can't really talk about it unless I give some minor spoilers. It is a fantasy romance. It is 513 pages. The content warnings are blood, gore, and general violence, which is to be expected with fantasy books.
I have noticed that.
Yeah. So this picks up after the second book this picks up after the first book where Red and the Wolf have finally contained the threat of the Old Kings, but it was at a steep cost. Red's beloved sister Neve, the first daughter, is lost in the Shadowlands, an inverted kingdom where the vicious gods of legend have been trapped for centuries, and the Old Kings have slowly been gaining control. But Neve has an ally, though it's one she'd rather never have to speak to again, the rogue king Solmir. Solmir wants to bring to an end to the Shadowlands, and he believes helping Neve may be the key to its destructions. Sorry. No. But to do that, they both have to journey across a dangerous landscape in order to find the mysterious Heart Tree and finally claim the gods' dark, twisted powers for themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
That sounds fun.
Okay. So you're a fan of the enemies to lovers now trope.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So this is a enemies to lovers for sure. I felt like the characters were very well developed. Both of them had depth. Like you understood the reason why they were doing the things that they did, and the like the choices they make sense. Like
right.
based on their past experiences. The romance elements between Solmir and Neve felt realistic to me. Like, oh, I hate him, but he's helping me so much, so I kind of am starting to like him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There are some like twists and turns where you're like heartbroken. The atmosphere and the world building are pretty fantastic. They're not the best. Like they lack something. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I felt not entirely like it's not a 5-star book for me. Like something is.
I've had that.
Yeah.
Something's missing.
And although it has like romance elements to it, and more so than the first book. The first book was very much like a 0 to 1 spice. This one has more instances of it. It doesn't go into like descriptive details or anything, but it's implied. And I felt like I enjoyed that a little more because like it is a realistic thing that would happen in the situations.
Yeah.
It's not like something that's just like put in. But yeah, like I don't know what she's a great author. Like she doesn't have I find in a lot of romance or fantasy novels, the writing can feel kind of fan fiction. You have never read fan fiction, so
no.
I think you should, just so you understand what I mean. Okay. But like a lot of fantasy novels, they feel like I don't know, like the description of the characters are always very over the top kind of thing, where it's like my long white hair and my blue orbs and that kind of thing. It doesn't have that at all. Like it feels very fantasy, like good fantasy. It's just lacking something, and I don't know what it is. Yeah. So if anybody has read it and knows what like it is, please tell me, because it's gonna drive me nuts.
I kind of had that with the God of Death and Rest, and then the other one, Wrath and Lies. I really liked those, but there was something that like I don't know what it was, and I couldn't. It was weird because I'm like, I can't even tell you what it is. It was just like it's like when you taste the sauce and you're like, what is this
exactly.
Sauce need? Becky, try the sauce, and you're like, It's like, what does it need? And you can't figure out. That's how I felt about.
It's always Old Bay.
I'm assuming it's like sip. You know what? That's what they need to sprinkle a little Old Bay.
You need a little Old Bay.
It always works. But yeah, so I totally understand. What you mean by that, because I've been there for sure.
So
and you don't know what it is.
Yeah, I did still give it 4 stars. I think it's still technically 1 spice because everything is implied. It doesn't actually have any like explicit scenes,
right?
Other than like, he kissed my neck or whatever, and like 1 eye roll, just because there's like 1 character that like really got to me. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was the 1 character that.
Yeah. Now, are they supposed to get to you as a reader, or are you supposed to enjoy them?
I think you're probably. You know
what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to enjoy them. I just I think I figured it out because it's like a twist. So I think I figured it out before I was supposed to. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes it's like, God, I hate them, but you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, that was good, but yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I would absolutely recommend it. It appeals to fans of the dark romantic fantasy novels that explore themes of family, destiny, sacrifice, and redemption. I will also say, sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier, but the descriptions of like the monsters that they encounter are very like spooky, like actually creepy. So if that's something that like you enjoy, like that's even something that's, you know, in there. So something to look forward to.
I'm gonna add
I
that to
can
my
bring them to you.
TBR. Oh, girl, please.
Okay.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna be here in like a week.
Yep.
Yes, please.
I
If you don't
also
mind.
might bring some manga for Alexis.
Oh, that would be cool.
Okay.
She's reading the book right now because she wants a guest spot on our show. So my daughter might get a little guest spot coming soon. So she's super stoked. Will I really? I'm like, yeah. Talk about your book, like, of course. And she's like,
10 minutes tops. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. She can only come in during that part, and it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm reading yet, but I'm sure you're not allowed to hear about it. So go on. No.
Can she please read that book that I sent to you? Oh my god, it looks so cool, but like I feel old reading it.
Which one?
Over the Woodward Wall.
Okay, I'll have to look for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know where all the books are. I just have to look through them, I should say.
It is a middle grade young adult fiction fantasy.
She's reading I've seen it on TikTok. It's called They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's the one about the like app.
Yes, it has very mixed reviews. It's like love it or hate it, it seems like, by the reviews, by the ratings.
I think the problem with some of the Goodreads ratings is that, so for example, this book that I was talking about, it looks very interesting, right? Like it looks like a really cool concept. However, it is a children's and middle grade book. So if I read it, I would probably give it a low rating because I am like aged out of it. However,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this. And I mean, I know there's a lot of YA that are like perfectly fine for me and you to read, but some of it is just, we've just simply grew out of that.
Right.
So yeah, for sure. But anyway, she's pretty excited, so it's super cute. But yeah, I'll look through that book and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else did you read?
Okay, so last but not least, I'm gonna talk about
that one. Yeah.
Nocticadia. I think I'm saying that right. I've heard Nocticadia, but I say Nocticadia.
Well,
I like it.
Academia,
like
right? Like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody was saying Nocticadia, and I'm like, that sounds so weird. But I mean, you do you.
Yeah.
You know, tomato. And it's
nobody
by Keri
says
Lake.
Tomato, by the way.
I've never heard. In Europe, they did tomato.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
This is off topic. Okay. I don't know if you saw this TikTok. So, you know, if you say R-N-R, it's if you say it like quickly, like those three letters, it's like you're saying "oh no" with an Australian accent. Do it.
R-N-R? Oh my god. Oh no.
R-N-R.
R-N-R.
R-N-R. Sorry. I can't stop doing it. Random in the middle of my... Okay.
No.
Sorry.
The Australian accent is my favorite accent because it's such a meme accent.
It is. It's like, you know, the rise up lights, right?
Yeah. Rise up lights.
Rise. Well, if you say rise up lights.
It sounds like razor blades.
Razor blades. Yeah. Rise up lights.
Rise up
so
lights.
Good. Rise up lights.
It's just drunk British.
It's so good. Okay,
anyway.
And there's nothing Australian about this book. I just that literally just popped into my brain. That's how I work. I don't know how I get anything done.
I am
okay.
So delirious right now.
Okay.
It's good. All right.
Nocticadia by Keri Lake. Dark Academia. My first one.
Your first one.
First one. 682 pages. Content warning is explicit sexual situations, murder, graphic violence, SA, suicide, torture, some gore with parasites and autopsies.
What is wrong with you?
I like the there's like worms in this one.
There's worms in one of my books too.
And every time now I see worms mentioned, I have to take a picture.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Okay, so it's ladybugs, it's worms. Willow trees. Roses.
Willow trees.
We have so many inside jokes.
They should just make like a book together.
Yeah. That's going to be our stickers. T. Kingfisher.
Yeah. Nick Cutter and T. Kingfisher should do a
T. Cutter.
tea cutter.
It'd be perfect.
If you're listening, I know they ain't because we have.
No, I know. We have like 50.
But if you ever do, if we blow up one day.
One day.
Right.
Yeah.
Please. No. Okay. Let me see. There it goes again. Okay. So I'm gonna try my best. I don't speak the French. But I think it's more toi vivos de, how do you say that? To dis. So it's French and it's translated the dead teach the living. So that's a big overarching theme of this book. After watching my mother succumb to a mysterious illness, I promised myself two things. I'd find a cure for what ravaged her and leave the godforsaken city where she abandoned me. 4 years ago, I received an acceptance letter from Nocticadia University, one of the oldest, most prestigious schools in the country. Nestled on a secluded island off the coast of Maine, it's rumored to be haunted by the souls of the mental patients exiled there centuries before. Those whose bones are said to make up the island's white sandy shores. And restless ghosts aren't even its most daunting peculiarity. Deverick Bramwell, known on campus as Dr. Death, is a brilliant pathologist in charge of the Midnight Lab. He's also my devastatingly handsome professor who seems to loathe tenacious first years like me. Except his dark and enigmatic gaze tells me all the ways he'd devour me if given the chance, and his stolen kisses burn my lips with forbidden jealousy. I crave his authority. He aches for redemption. Together we're toxic, delicious fodder for the prying eyes hell-bent on exhuming the rotted skeletons of our past. For the dead have much to teach, and it's only a matter of time before Dracadia's most depraved secret is resurrected. I know this sounds kind of like, it's actually really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really good. I kind of read it, and I'm like, oh, a little corny. I liked it a lot.
No, that's fine. I think sometimes whoever does the synopsis on Goodreads, like, they miss the mark sometimes, I swear.
I'm reading it and I'm like, this is fucking so
like, I wouldn't read this out
so good
based off of yeah.
No, I was interested again, TikTok. So I'll see a book on TikTok and then I add it like to my Goodreads TBR and then I'll be reading it and I'm like, am I even gonna like this?
TikTok, come on.
I know. Well, Goodreads explanations, because on TikTok it looks like great, and then I get to Goodreads and read the synopsis and I'm like, ugh. But this one actually was I liked it. So what I liked is I wasn't really expecting to be able to get into it. I thought I was going to have like the ultimate hangover from the series I read, but I actually was able to. The plot and characters and world building, if you will, are all amazing. It really makes you want to visit this mysterious island off the coast of Maine. Like, I want to go. I want to check it out. Sounds really cool. Lots of plot, tons of plot, lots of twists and turns, which I always appreciate. There is a age gap, the professor and the student, but she's 20 and he's like in his late 20s, so it's not like anything. Yeah,
he recently graduated.
Crazy.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not so bad like you read sometimes.
Like you read sometimes.
That I read sometimes. It's true. There is also a scene that gave me really bad secondhand embarrassment. I'm gonna talk about this real quick because it's so sad.
Was it Michael Scott level?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't know. It's pretty bad. So she's super poor, right? Poor. She's smart as shit, but she's poor. And she's kind of taking care of her sister. Her younger sister ends up having to go to like this. She has issues, right? But after the mom passed away, she just completely shut down, and she's going to like a special school to like help her, psychologically, whatever. And she lives there, and so she's like a resident. So, it costs money, right? It's not free. So her and her stepdad, who's a piece of shit, were kind of like having it. But when she gets accepted to go to this college, she doesn't get a job right away or anything, so she doesn't have any money. So her friend's like, hey, like pretty much go on, it's not the same, but like get OnlyFans and like post something and you're gonna get like, I made this much money off of it. And she's like, I'm not like against it. She just didn't think she could do it. But then she becomes desperate because she doesn't want her sister. She finds out like her stepdad didn't pay his half. So she owes a bunch of money and like she needs to pay it now. And so she she makes an account and you have to like do something in public. That's like the point of this page is like doing something in public. So she puts the phone, she's in class and she puts the phone between her knees and like, to herself recording. And when the phone, the professor does not allow phones in his fucking classroom. Like they are not fucking allowed. He doesn't want to be recorded because they're studying diseases and parasites and stuff that haven't been
disclosed,
publicly released yet. Blah, 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 blah. The phone drops. So he confiscates it.
Oh, yikes.
I'm only going to say that.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. And it's, oh my God. And you just feel so bad for her. That's before they're not like talking yet. Like they're not even
romantically. She's
just like, he's hot. Yeah. But he's mean. Why is he mean to all of us? And then this happens. Anyways, that's just a little tidbit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. Lots of twists, especially towards Jin. There was a couple times I was like, what? Like, my eyes got big, my mouth went, what? Like, for real. Dislike, not much to say, honestly. There's people you're not gonna like, there's people you're gonna like, and you're not supposed. I didn't like the ones I wasn't supposed to, and I liked the ones I was supposed to. So it all kind of fits in. There is this character in the book, Mel. She's not the FMC or anything by any means, but she has this little place. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to give things away that she like found, and it's just weird. Like her part of the story actually ends up being pretty big, and she's just kind of sprinkled throughout the story. And then at the end, you're like, holy shit! Like she has a really, maybe that was done on purpose, but she has this like secret little like area of the school that like she found that she goes to with her friends, and I think it's just kind of weird that like nobody knows about it. Because they all have big mouths, right? Like. I don't know, this like big secret place. And I mean, it was a very small part of the book, but I was kind of like, that's kind of dumb. And then I wish I would have kind of known a little more about her because it almost felt rushed with her. But maybe it was supposed to be like that. I'm probably just slow and was like, wait, like, because it just seemed like she had a really big part. And I'm like, she wasn't talked about like all that. I mean, she was there. She was
it's her?
I was just freaking out. Like, why is she? Anyways, but yeah, not bad though. Not a bad book at all. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars actually.
Wow.
3.5 spice and 1 eye roll. There was a comment this girl made in the book, and it annoyed me so bad, but it was supposed to, so it's okay. Yeah. But like, I read it and I did. I like legit eye rolled so hard.
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh.
Perfect.
I was so annoyed.
See? We made it for a reason.
Bad. I was just like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, there it is. There was one. So yeah, that was my biggest one. As far as recommending the book, it was my first dark academia, and I really did like it. There was an age gap, but it wasn't too much of a, like, it wasn't tremendous and gross. It was more of a like a scandal because he's a professor, blah. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I do recommend it. I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun read. Really good. Good twist at the end too.
What? Okay. You should read. What is it called?
Ooh, I'm gonna put it.
Now I have to think of what the name of it is. It's got
Dark Academia.
It has one of those.
That Zodiac one?
No.
Okay.
I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah.
Gothicana. It's also a professor.
You've mentioned that one.
I have a few times.
Okay.
It's fine. It's gonna be a troll situation. But it is also a professor-student relationship. But it's not like he's not an old man by any means. They're
college. Yeah, so I'm okay. College doesn't bother me as much. It's like when I read Dark Notes and it was like a high school girl.
Right.
But college is cool. Like she was 20. You know.
I don't know. I have a niece in college now, and it like really freaks me out because I think
that's why the high school thing freaks me out, because like my daughter's going to be in high school next year, and I'm like, absolutely not. So maybe when she goes to college, I'll be like, absolutely not. But right now, I'm
who decided that you got to go to college?
Right.
I don't approve.
Nope. Oh, the Gothicana has a fun author name.
Oh yeah, it's like Runix or something.
Runix?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a try because I did like the dark academia thing. I thought it was really fun.
It is fun.
It's pretty.
Mhm.
I love everything described. I'm like, ooh, it's pretty. I don't think it's it's very foggy and dark and mysterious.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty. So
while we're like transitioning into fall too, a lot of my books are probably going to get more into like the darker, maybe not academia, but like I have a few that I've been eyeballing that I've been like putting a pause on because I want the feelings right, you know?
Yeah.
Not that
the mist and the fog and the
not that the Southwest or, you know, where we live is like a fall area, but
that's why we have to read about
exactly.
That's why we have to transport ourselves.
Yeah, I miss the fall, man.
I don't miss winter, but I do miss fall. Fall is one of the seasons. It's the only one I really miss because I'm not a winter girly. I don't like fucking snow. I hate it. It's pretty, but I don't like being cold. But I like being cool. I like a good a good hoodie day is a good day. That's what I like. So I love the winters here because the winter here is like a fall in most places temperature wise, but I miss the changing of the trees. The cactuses don't change colors.
No, they don't.
You know, there's not a lot of like when I was in New Jersey, it was gorgeous. I mean, I lived in South Jersey, and it's so pretty. And I remember like me and my friend went up to Boston, and of course New England's like just freaking
oh my god, I know we have to go
fall. We do maybe Sleepy Hollow or something.
Yeah,
that would be super fun, right?
It would be. Oh, we could like.
I think we should do it.
We could like read the book ahead of time.
That's a good idea.
I know. Okay, write that down.
Remember that down.
Yeah, remember that down. I love you.
Back. I love you too. Okay.
My stupid laugh. Oh my god. Okay.
No, you're adorable.
Stop it.
I cackle too. We could just both.
We're just gonna have a laugh track.
Yeah, we should. Just us.
Oh my god.
Anyways, so I am really interested to hear about this next one because it's your boy. So
yeah,
let's hear about the next book.
So I got onto a Neil Gaiman train based off of American Gods because American Gods did give me that like super book hangover like you were talking about. Also Neil
talking about that.
Neil Gaiman has read he probably has read a lot, but he has like written like everything. I started looking at his Goodreads profile. I know I mentioned he wrote Coraline, but I didn't know he wrote Good Omens too, which is like a TV show. Which I don't know if it's like big here, but it's big in like the UK. It has David Tennant in it, who was a Doctor Who. Sidetrack.
There it is.
He also wrote Nevermore, which is also a TV show. Like he has written so many books that have turned into TV shows, and he wrote I think he wrote Sandman, which is a Netflix show.
Oh my gosh.
Stardust, which is a movie. Like apparently his novels or his writing just is a very good basis of like My Brain movie is now an actual movie.
Yeah, he's like a
genius. I read the book, I also listened to the book. He is the narrator of the book, which is also a huge plus to me. Yeah. And he has after we're done here, please look up like any interview with Neil Gaiman, and he has the most soothing voice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
So I don't think I've mentioned what the book is. It's The Ocean at the End of the Lane. It's by Neil Gaiman. It is on Kindle Unlimited. I think this is his only book that is on Kindle Unlimited. So if you want to check him out, see what his like writing style is, check it out if you have Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
This is fantasy fiction, magical realism, horror. I can see where the horror elements would be, but I wasn't scared of it, I guess. I can see how you could be scared of it. It is 259 pages. The content warnings for this is suicide, drowning, domestic violence by the parental unit, depictions of death. The synopsis is I don't know what's going on with my throat today. Like, this is the
It's because you don't got your tea.
Probably. We need to go to thirst tea for this. A middle-aged man returns to his childhood home to attend a funeral. Although the house he lived in is now long gone, he is drawn to the farm at the end of the road where, when he was 7, he encountered a most remarkable girl, Letty Hemstock, and her mother and grandmother. He hasn't thought of Letty in decades, and yet as he sits by the pond, a pond that she claimed was an ocean, behind the ramshackle old farmhouse, the unremembered past comes flooding back. And it is a past too strange, too frightening, too dangerous to have happened to anyone, let alone a small boy.
All right, so what did you like about the book?
So, Neil Gaiman, he's a great wordsmith. Like, the way he writes, I think it's called, like, prose. Like, again, I don't want to be pretentious or anything. Like, I don't know the fluffy words for specific writing styles, but the way he writes is very poetic and, like, imaginative and I already said creative, but it's creative, okay? It's a very, like, imaginative story, and it has, like, this very vivid, enchanting world view or world building to it. I felt that the narrator's voice, he's a 7-year-old boy, so it did feel very much like I'm the viewpoint of a 7-year-old boy. Yeah, which also might be part of the reason I didn't give it 5 stars, because I do think that I'm a little old to be partaking in 7-year-old boy content. I don't know. But the Hemstocks, I think the idea is that it's the maiden mother crone, like, symbolism. They're very fascinating characters who hint at a deeper and older history than meets the eye. The development of who they are as characters was very well done, and I really enjoyed it. And they provide the narrator with great guidance, protection, friendship. Like, he comes to them with a problem, and they, instead of being like, "Oh, you stupid boy," they help him fix the situation. This also had worms in it, by the way.
Of course it did.
I don't
worms everywhere.
I don't get it. Why does it happen?
I don't know.
But I don't know where this one fell short. Maybe it's because I'm, like, putting it up against American Gods, and American Gods is probably, like, one of his best stories. I haven't read Coraline, but I imagine that to be a pretty good one too, except it again is a child, so maybe not. I mean,
is this book written for, like, a young audience?
No, it has. So it does have one adult situation happens. Like, it has, I wouldn't say one spice, but, like, it does happen. There's, like, he views this thing that's happening, and, like, in his little boy brain, he doesn't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Like, he just thinks they're hugging, but yeah. But, like, I don't know. I like Over the Garden Wall and Gravity Falls a lot, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would absolutely recommend this to anybody who enjoys a good story with hints of magic. There is a little bit of horror elements, like I said, but I mean, it wasn't. Maybe I'm just, like, too like, I've read too many horror stories that, like, this element didn't quite do it for me, but I can see how it would be.
Right.
But yeah,
the potential for it to be a little. So 4 stars?
Oh yeah. Sorry, 4 stars.
No, you're fine. No, you're good.
4 stars. Like, between 0 and 1 spice, because there is that one scene, which is pretty typical of Neil Gaiman too. He does put sexual content in his books, but not to a yucky extent.
He's the nipple one.
He's
right?
the nipple one, yeah.
Okay.
With all the nipples and the beast with 2 backs, and yeah.
Yes.
So 4 stars. 0 to 1 spice. No eye rolls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, actually. Sounds interesting.
Yeah. I like Neil Gaiman.
Is it long? How long is it?
It's actually so.
Oh, it's not that bad. 259.
That's the Kindle version. I don't know what the difference is, but the paperback version is like 138 or something. So I don't.
Oh.
Maybe there's more at the end of the Kindle. You know how like when you're reading a Kindle book and it's like, oh, you're done, but like there's still like the epilogue and
yeah.
It's like
you're on
surprise,
page 3.
You're done.
Page 3. You're on page 3. What? And then 4. I like how does yours check like I get really stressed out about it like checking your reading speed or whatever it says, and I'm like, don't,
please don't.
Sometimes. I'm not a speed reader. I don't read fast, so oh god. I mean, sometimes I do.
It depends on the content, right?
If it's like a super atmospheric, like I want to read it slow. Like I want it all happening. So if it's just like it doesn't have that going for it, I'm like, oh, blah 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 blah. But if I want to like really see like world building and stuff, I'm slower with that purposefully. Like,
right, you want to
happening,
catalog it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay, cool.
Well, that's all I had for today. What are you reading?